I've been teaching about the story of Joseph, and I was so excited to write about the story of Joseph. Joseph went through so much with the story of Joseph. We read last week that it was the gift of interpreting dreams with Joseph that put him in the pit. But it also was his gift of interpreting dreams that released him from prison into prosperity. Isn't that also the same gift that put him in prison or put him in the pit to prison was the same gift of interpreting dreams that released him from prison to prosperity. So I was excited. I was like, wow, I can't wait to continue to teach this series on Joseph. However, today is a special day. We're talking about Mother's Day. Mother's Day. So I want to, we're going to leave the story of Joseph alone this day. And we want to talk about the story of Ruth. The story of Ruth. Who all knows the story of Ruth? Amen. All know about the story of Ruth. Amen. The story of Ruth is an awesome story. And I want to name this sermon today, the story of Ruth and Naomi, because Naomi is a very important part of the Bible, the story. Yes. Oh yeah. Naomi is a very, very important component in this story of Ruth. Amen. And I like to call this sermon Bitter to Sweet. And you'll see the reason why I named this sermon from Bitter to Sweet. Amen. And I think this is important for us to understand the motherhood of Naomi and the obedience of Ruth. Amen. Before I get started here, there's a quote that I want to say to you guys. There's a quote I love, okay? And this quote has something to do with the story of Ruth. I want you guys to really listen to it, okay? And this quote goes this. Have you heard it? How's it go? I love this quote. Actually, I posted it on my social media. But the quote said, there's two things that will define you in life. There's two things that will define you in life. Your patience when you have nothing. And your attitude when you have everything. Wow. Isn't that something? Okay, one more time. I should have heard an amen and shout on this one. I said, there's two things that will define you in life. Define you, your character in life, your patience. When you're praying for something, you know, when you don't have anything and you're praying for that blessing, you're patient when you have nothing. When you don't have nothing, no car, no money, no job, things are not going right in your life, when you have nothing, it's your patience, you're waiting for your blessings and from your prayer, and you're asking God, I've been obedient to you, I'm praying, but why these things are not happening? Why does it seem like when I pray for favor and the blessings, it seems like more things that's the opposite happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why I'm seeing people leaving me? Why I'm going through all these problems in life? But why am I going through these things, Heavenly Father? Why? When I feel like I'm being obedient to your word, why am I going through these things? And they say your patience when you have nothing. Your patience. Because we have to be patient when we don't have anything. Amen. I have to be patient when I don't have anything. That's so true. And it said your attitude. I like this. And your attitude when you have everything. Can we be a little bit prideful sometimes when we think we got everything on? I don't care if everything, you're going to school. I don't care if everything is money. Your attitude. Would your attitude change when you have everything? In the Bible, God said that He gives peace to the humble. He resists the pride, but He gives peace to the humble. Right? He said the meek shall inherit the earth. Right. He looks at the humble when the man. Right. He looks at the humble. So we got to continue to remain humble. When we have everything, we still remain humble. So I love this quote because it goes with the story of Ruth. There's 5 things that I love about the story of Ruth, what it represents to me. It represents 5 things. The Ruth story represents dedication, the patience, the loyalty, the love, and the redemption. And the redemption. And the redemption. Amen? So if we can, I want us all to go to the book of Ruth. Let's go to Ruth chapter 1. And today I'm going to read. I'm going to do some reading. So bear with me with these names, because a lot of these names are some Hebrew names, so they're kind of difficult to pronounce, but I will do my best. And you guys, I want you to follow along with me. But the name of the sermon today is From Bitter to Sweet. I had two names. I was going to say the best have yet to come, because you'll find out with the story of Ruth. But from bitter to sweet, and you will see the humble beginning of the story here, okay? Because the story begins with Naomi's loss, but it ends with Naomi's gain.
Right.
I used to get this word, pain. You got to go through pain to get gain, or there was no pain, there's no gain. Well, this story talks about, similar to that quote. Naomi went through loss, but at the end she received gain.
Amen.
She received blessings and favor. So if we can, go to the story. Let's go to the book of Ruth. Ruth chapter 1.
Amen.
I'm going to put my reading glass, well, I'm going to put my reading mind on. I'm going to go through this here. And like I said before, there's some names here, but we're going to go through it. But I want you guys to get the logistics of the story, because it's very important. And we're going to learn some things. Now, there's 4 chapters in Ruth, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the whole chapter 1, and then we're going to break down from chapter 2 to 3 to 4, so it won't be so elongated today, okay? So we'll get the message. And if you all there, say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Now chapter 1, it reads, Now it came to pass in the days where the judges ruled, that there was a famine in the land.
Yes.
And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to dwell in the country of Moab. He and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech. The name of his wife was Naomi. And the name of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephraimites of Bethlehem and Judah. So he had 2 sons. And they went to the country of Moab and remained there. So these are Israelites going to a foreign country. This is not the country that they're from. They're going to a strange foreign country. So verse 3 said, Then Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. Wow. You see where we're going at with this? Naomi already going through some things right now. Her husband died. And it said, verse 4, Now they took wives of the women of Moab. And it's talking about her sons. The name of the one was Oprah, not to be confused with Oprah, even though I believe this is where Oprah might have got her name from. And the name of the other is Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. So they was married for 10 years. Then both Mahlon and Chilion also died. So the women survived her 2 sons and her husband. So Naomi's dealing with a lot right now. I said before, the story begins with loss. Naomi just lost her husband. Not just lost her husband, now she lost her 2 sons.
Amen.
Wow. Not just that, she moved from Bethlehem, Judah, to a foreign country. So she in a foreign country with no husband and lost her 2 wonderful sons. So you should understand the pain she's dealing with. This loss here. Verse 6 said, Then she arose with her daughter-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had visited his people by giving them bread. Verse 7 said, Therefore she went out from the place where she was, and her 2 daughter-in-laws with her. So her 2 daughter-in-laws followed Naomi. So right there, I just looking at that here, Naomi must have been some kind of mother for a daughter-in-law to say, we follow you. That means she was a good mom. You know, we were following you, Naomi. I know that our husband died as well, but we want to follow you. And we'll continue in the story here. It said, Therefore she went out from the place where she was, and her 2 daughter-in-laws with her. And they went on the way to return to the land of Judah. So they're going back to Judah. These 2 Moab women, wives, They're going to a foreign place.
Right.
But they follow Naomi.
Right.
And then Naomi said to her daughter-in-laws, go, return each one to your mother's house. So Naomi said, look, you need to go back to your mother's house. Why are you following me? And then she said that the Lord dealt kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead with me. Verse 9 said, the Lord grant that you may find rest, each in the house of her own husband. So Naomi said, look, you don't need to go to Judah with me. I'm going back to my country. You need to go back to your mother. And when you go back to your country and to your mother's house, then you will find a husband. You will find rest. God will bless you with a husband there. But you shouldn't follow me. You should go back to your country. So anyway, it says here, so she kissed them, and they lifted their voice and wept. Wow, that's a mother right there, right? Where Naomi is telling them to go back to their own mother, but they lift up their voice. I mean, they shout and say, no, we want to stay with you. We want to stay with you, Naomi. We want to stay with you. And they wept. I don't know if I made a good impression on somebody who wept me. I can't see the tears in my eyes. They're probably sweat, but not tears. But you get the logistics of it, amen. Verse 10 said, and they said to her, surely we will return with you to your people. But verse 11 said, by Naomi said, turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Why would you go with me? Why? Are there still sons in my womb? Are there still sons in my womb? And that they may be your husband. Verse 12 said, turn back, my daughters, go, for I am too old to have a husband. And if I should say I have hope of having a husband, what she said, tonight, and should also bear a son, will you wait for them till they are fully grown? What is she saying? She's saying that I am too old to have a husband. I'll be honest with you, okay? And if I do find a husband and I do have a son, are you going to stay there and wait till these sons get older so you can marry them? I don't think so. That'll be a long time. And they said, will you wait for them when they're fully grown or grown? And they said, will you restrain yourself from having a husband? And she said, no, my daughter, for it grieves me very much for your sake that the hand of the Lord hath gone out against me. See, this is how Naomi's feeling. She feels like, Lord. And I know we heard people say that God took my loved ones away, but that's not the case. But that's how Naomi's feeling. She feels like God have something against me because I lost my love, I lost my husband, I lost my sons. God might have something against me. But then we find out that's not the case. That's where we further along. Verse 14 said, then they lifted up their voice and wept again. They cried again. They're not trying to leave Naomi, except one person. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law. Once again, this is not Oprah, but Orpah. Kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. So Orpah left. She left. Like, you know what? I cried the first time, but this second time, now you start to make sense. I don't think I'm going to wait to somebody for you to have a baby. And I don't think I can restrain myself from that. So I think you're right, Naomi. I'm going to go back to my country. I'm going to go back to my country. But Ruth said, no. She clung on to her. She said, she clinged on to Naomi. And that word clung or cling, you can see it also in Genesis when it talks about when a man leaves his mother and father and cling to his wife. Cling to his wife. If you notice in the story, when we get further along, you'll see the dedication, the loyalty, the commitment of Ruth to Naomi. Just as a husband to a wife and a wife to a husband.
Amen.
We'll see. Verse 15 said, and she said, look, your sister-in-law has gone back. Look, Ruth, your sister, you see, she have left. She have gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law. This is Naomi kept on saying to Ruth, you need to leave just like Orpah left. She got it. But check this out. This is what Ruth said in verse 16. I never seen. I also written this down. Don't just, when I'm about to read it, kind of remind you of a wedding vow. This is what Ruth said to Naomi. And entreat me not to leave you. or to turn back from the following after you. For wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts you and me. Doesn't that sound something like marriage? You know, people have been married to death, do you part? Isn't that something? That's how much he said, clung and cling on to Naomi. And this is kind of funny. I think the Bible has some little funny parts in here. But in verse 18 said this here. It said, when she saw, this time Naomi, when she saw that she, which is Ruth, was determined, I want you to underline the word determined, to go with her, she stopped speaking to her. What does she mean by that? Naomi said, she stopped telling Ruth to leave because she found out this woman's determined and dedicated to stay with me. She said, no, I'm done. Now I realize she's going to ride with me. Ruth was a ride or die type of person. Verse 19 said, now the two of them went until they came to Bethlehem. And it happened, they had come to Bethlehem, that all the cities were excited because of them. And the woman said, is that Naomi? So Naomi, you see that she was a virtuous woman. They knew her when she came to Bethlehem. That's Naomi. They knew. Verse 20 said, but she said to them, do not call me Naomi. Call me Mara. For the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. Wow. That's how she felt. That's how she felt towards God. She felt that God had dealt with her bitterly. What I want you to do, still be in the book of Ruth, and I want to show you that word called Mara. Bitterly. Go to Exodus chapter 15, verse 23. 15, 23. Now I'm going to show you where they got that name from, okay? When you get there, say, man, I want you guys to understand the Bible. I can be a motivational speaker, or we can get to learn His Word. Whatever you guys want. But God called me for you guys to understand His Bible. Not to please your flesh, to sound good, but for you guys to understand and get revelation. Amen? Exodus chapter 15, verse 23. When you get there, say amen. 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 And it said, now when they came to Mara, they could not drink the waters of Mara, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Mara. What it's talking about, Moses was trying to lead the Israelites, right? And he did, but they kept complaining everywhere they go. Moses couldn't do nothing good to the Israelites, Moses and Aaron. And so they complained all the way through. So when he left and led them out of captivity in Egypt, they still was complaining about everywhere. But this is where they got that the word bitterness or the word Mara from. Excellent. So we go back to Ruth. We go back to Ruth. Amen. Let's go back to Ruth. I just want to show you that. So you understand, okay? So it said in verse 20, I went out for the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why do you call me Naomi? Now, I just want to stop there. You see the similarities to the early Israelites? She said that the Lord had brought me home empty again. Isn't that what the Israelites said to Moses and Aaron? Well, you brought me here to die. You brought me to this wilderness to die. God must want us to die. And so you see how that's how Naomi felt. She felt like the Israelites. She felt bitter. She said, why are you calling me Naomi? You should call me Mara, because I feel bitter. Or God had dealt with me bitterly. He's against me. I must have did something wrong to God. He's paying me back. This has to be something that God is doing. They said, why do you call me Naomi? It says, the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me. It says in verse 21. Verse 22 said, Naomi returned, and Ruth, the Moabites, her daughter-in-law, with her, who returned from the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of early harvest. Amen. What I want to do here, I want to break down the names of Naomi and Ruth and Naomi's husband, Elimelech, or Orpah. I just want to show you what the names mean. Naomi in Hebrew means good pleasant, lovely, and wise. That's what Naomi means in Hebrew. And you see that Naomi wasn't feeling good or pleasant at the beginning, but you'll see at the end of this book here that she was good, she was pleasant. Ruth in Hebrew means something worth seeing. Ruth, something worth seeing. And you'll see later on in the Bible. Means friend, but also means something worth seeing. A vision of beauty. Amalek, which is Naomi's husband, means my God is king. My God is king. It's in Hebrew. Remember, Hebrews, even though you have a name, they have a meaning behind it. They have the meaning behind the name. Orpah, not Oprah. Oprah means rich, I'm sorry. It's a joke. It's rich. You gotta laugh. But Orpah in Hebrew means turn back. Turn back. Isn't that what she did? She was trying to be there with Naomi, but then after a while she turned back and said, I'm going back to my country. Turn back. So I just want you to understand the names there. And Orpah was the wife of Shalon, and Ruth was the wife of Mahlon. Okay? Ruth and Orpah was Moabites, not Israelites. Just want you to know the background of the story here. Amen? Amen. Awesome. Are you guys liking this story so far? Amen. Awesome. So let's go to, let's still stay with the story of Ruth. And let's go to chapter 2. Let me get there, say amen. So I'm going to do some reading today. It's going to be a little different than what I used to preach. But we're going to go through the book of Ruth, okay? Chapter 2 said, there was a relative of Naomi, husband, a man of great wealth of the family of Amalek. His name was Boaz. Who knows about Boaz? Amen. Women should know who Boaz is. Yeah. If you're not married or if you are married, I think this is a good story. Boaz is somewhat the type of Christ, the way he was in the story. Boaz is a good man. Yeah, he was a wealthy man. But not just he was wealthy in finance, but he was wealthy in his heart. He had a great character. Verse 2 says, so Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, please let me go to the field and glean heads of grain. What it means, pick heads of grain after him, whose sight I might find favor in. So Ruth is saying, I need for Boaz to see me. And then when Boaz sees me, he's going to find a good thing. Because it says in the Bible, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And he finds favor with God. So he said, look, I know when Boaz sees me, he's going to find a good thing. He's going to find a good thing. But he just needs to find me. He's also going to find favor with God. Amen? I want us to remember, I'm not going to read the whole, because it's the whole book of Ruth. We'll be here too long. But let's skip down to verse 10. Let's skip down to verse 10. I just want to give a little breakdown all the way to verse 10 before we get there. We're still in Ruth chapter 2, but we're going to verse 10. We're going to skip to verse 10. So just to let you know, so Ruth started to work in the fields that Boaz owned. And she started to work, and she did some gleaning, which is picking harvest and grain. And she was doing her best so that Boaz can see her. And Boaz noticed her. He did. And this is verse 10. We read here. So Ruth, she fell down on her face, bowed down to the ground, said to Boaz, why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? See, he's an Israelite. He should not be taking notice of a foreigner, right? She's a Moabite. Verse 11 said, Boaz answered and said to her, it has been fully reported to me. You guys hearing this? It has been fully reported to me, all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father and your mother and the land you were birthed in, and have come to the people who you do not know before. The Lord will repay your works and full reward beginning to you by the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to refuge. And then it said, verse 13, then she said, let me find favor in your sight, my Lord. I don't know if you was here, but my mom was preaching about kingdom women. But remember, she said that in those days, they called their husband Lord.
Amen.
They called their husbands Lord.
Yes, amen.
I know God's like, we need to go back to that. I think that's a good name. Husband's cool, but Lord, it's got a certain kick to it. They call him Lord. And then it says in verse 13, she said, let me find favor in your sight, my Lord, for you have comforted me, and have spoken kindly to your maidservant, though I'm like one of your own maidservants. We'll just stop right there. You notice that Boaz noticed Ruth's character. He knew that she was beautiful, but he noticed her character. She said, it was fully reported to me, all that you have done. You was faithful and loyal to your mother-in-law. That's what attracted Boaz to Ruth. Yes, she's beautiful, but we have to also understand that Boaz is a rich, wealthy, powerful man. He had women working for him, which was a lot of beautiful women. So it's not just the beauty of Ruth, but it was her character, what she did for her mother. Like, wow, the loyalty and the commitment that I see that you did for your mother, whoo, that's a wife. That's a wife. Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful women out there, but what I see, the commitment, the loyalty to your mother-in-law, I see that's what I see in you. You can be with me as a wife. And he's seen the character of Ruth, and that would attract Boaz to Ruth. Not just her beauty, but also her character, which is very important. Amen? So let's go ahead and skip down. We're still in chapter 2. Let's get to verse 20 to 22, okay? Like I said, I want to read the whole thing, so we're just getting the important parts of the story. So verse 20, chapter 2, verse 20, said that, then Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, blessed be he, the Lord, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living and to the dead. Naomi said to her, this man is a relation of ours, one of our close relatives. So we talk about Boaz. Boaz is a relative to Naomi through her husband Elimelech. And in those days, if a husband died, the close relative should take on the role of husband.
That's exactly
so the next one in line should be Boaz. Isn't that something like, wow, I died, now my brother gonna marry my wife? And we're like, you don't want that, right? But that's how it was back then. It is not how it is now. It shouldn't, but if it is, then it is. Probably in certain countries still like that, but that's how it was, That's how it was. But it says here, in verse 21, Ruth the Moabite said, he also said to me, you shall stay close by my young men until they have finished the harvest. Then Naomi, so now we see Naomi. This is why I said it's not just about the story of Ruth, but you look at the wise counsel of Naomi as a mother.
Amen.
This is what she said to Ruth. Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, and that people do not meet you in other field. So he stayed close by the young women of Boaz to glean into the end of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest, and she dwelt with her mother-in-law. You see the wise instruction of Naomi? Naomi, you see that she went from being bitter, but you see her start to elevate into being that woman, a pleasant woman. And I know I told you the meaning of Naomi and Ruth.